What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob himself, and back again, another week of geek news and things that I love going on and I want to talk about. And I want to start off because we're starting every episode off and it's almost over. The Watchmen series on HBO. So I don't know how many of you are fans, but I love the graphic novel. I mean, obviously, a lot of people have to be fans. It's revered, but this show takes just kind of cover it again. This show takes place in 2019, and it is a continuation from the series of events that happened in the Watchmen graphic novel, not the movie, the graphic novel. So giant octopus and all. Going from that, every episode has seemed to wow me more and more as we go on. And this episode, not so much. I think it was underwhelming, but because based on my expectations of all the other episodes, I was expecting it to be more, be different. I had my own, I guess, bias involved in it. Just because they've been spoiling me with the epicness that each episode has been, especially the last episode and how amazing and wonderful it was and how it was rewritten perfectly. The lore was rewritten of the Watchmen. I should say the Minutemen. So, anyway, going a little off tangent. There might be some spoilers to this, so if you are watching the show, you may want to tune out for the first 5 minutes of this video. But so we continue on this episode. We continue off where Angela, Sister Night, is still healing under Lady True's care from the taking her grandfather's nostalgia. So she's kind of in between her own memories and the memories of her grandfather. And she keeps snapping out of it back into reality and such. So it's an interesting turn of events. And she's on some sort of treatment, a dialysis type treatment to help wean her off the nostalgia. So, and help her regain her memory. So we are seeing her beginning. And it is a heartbreaking one, especially considering the Will Reeves character, the Louis Gossett Jr.'s character, and his heartbreaking story that we got last week. So her parents were killed in Vietnam, and this is, remember, an alternate Vietnam. This is Vietnam in the 80s. That is a state. It is essentially the 51st state, and but there are people there who are not happy about having won the war. So suicide bomber goes in, kills her parents, and she's just a little girl at that point. And she has no other family, so she gets stuck in a home for girls, and it's pretty hellacious. It's sad to see. And then, you think there's a ray of sunshine, through the whole episode, they're showing the whole story and kind of interspersed in what's going on in the present day. And then her grandmother comes out and comes out to get her, and they meet for the first time, and oh yeah, Angela's gonna go home, and that's how she gets back to Oklahoma and living the life she lives now. Nope, grandmother dies when she puts her in a taxi, and she goes back to the home for girls, because now she literally has no family. That's it. So it's just really heartbreaking, and the music is just so well done, and the music is haunting throughout the entire thing, and everything about it was just beautiful and perfect, perfectly written, I should say, and filmed and the whole nine. And then we get to what some of the, again, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful episode. It was a really good episode. I was just underwhelmed by it because of what we've been getting, what's been ramping up in each episode. And I think the scenes with Ozymandias, they were the most underwhelming for me. So I think that's what brought the episode down. This is a very heavy episode, carried perfectly by Regina King. And then we get to the real like meat and potatoes of like what's leading to the last 2 episodes. And so basically Lady True is saying, she keeps trying to tell Angela, I'm trying to save the world. The 7th Cavalry is trying to tear it down. We know that it's led by that Senator Joe. I can't remember, Joe Keene, I think his name is. It just escapes me at the moment. And and that's pretty cool how they do it too. Laurie Blake goes to tell Judd, who's played with Don Johnson's character, the police chief, goes to tell his widow who killed him. So she gets there, and she kind of reveals some things that she knows, not knowing that Judd's widow is in on everything with the 7th Cavalry. The whole plan, the whole nine, everything. So she traps Laurie, and I guess it was supposed to be a funny scene, but it just didn't play that way for me. And I feel like this woman who Laurie Blake, who Gene Smart's playing in the show, has been throughout the entire show a step ahead of everybody, always on her toes, never trusts anybody. And, she's a former hero herself and an FBI agent now. So I feel like and just how she's been presented, like she would have never trusted the widow. Like she would never went in there with a trust, but yet she did, and was caught, was trapped by her in a very old school supervillain vibe. That was kind of cool. Trap doors. So that's all I'll say there. But Laurie Blake, I don't think would have been trapped. Like I said, she's been a step ahead of everybody. Even when she didn't know fully what was going on or the scope of everything, is her, I don't want to say distrust, but her lack of willingness to trust everybody, is just to kind of keep her guard up, that kept her going. So I just didn't understand how it was completely thrown out or written out of this whole episode. It was very uncharacteristic of her. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. And so she's trapped. Last we saw of her, she was tied up and she was talking to that senator. So then we go forward, and you find out that the nostalgia is the dialysis is with her with an elephant, which because it's a memory thing, I kind of get, but it was just a very peculiar situation, and I didn't dislike it, and I didn't think it didn't work, but at the same time too, it was like I was expecting more out of that scene, and but then we get to it, and Lady True tells Angela that Dr. Manhattan hasn't been on Mars. He's hiding out on Earth as a human, and he has been for a while. So it was pretty interesting to hear that, because Angela doesn't ask any questions. She just leaves, and she takes off, goes home, and she goes to see Cal, her husband, and tells him it's time, you can't remember, but I have to bring you back. And then you kind of get where it's going. He is Dr. Manhattan. And I heard this point brought up somewhere else on another podcast I listened to, and I thought that made perfect sense to me too. Was that was it Yahya Abdul Mateen too, who plays him, who is within his own right a star, has been seen to be relegated these past 8 episodes to just kind of playing like the side, I don't want to say housewife, but like a stay-at-home dad type, and you don't really see him much. He just seems like the worrisome husband. And it was, I just never felt, it felt strange to me the whole time. Every episode I was like, this dude does amazing work. He's a great actor. He was the best thing about the first Purge. His character was amazing in it. He's great as, I didn't particularly like the Aquaman movie, but he was great in it, and I wouldn't have minded Black Manta movie, within itself. But every role he seems to step into has been fantastic. And I find myself a big fan of his. And I was excited to see him on the show, but he seemed like such a small character on the show. And I don't want to say small, but but just like a kind of a side character is the way they put him off. So like, it didn't make sense to how big of a name he is, that he was like relegated to this. So it makes sense now. He's Dr. Manhattan. We see that, and that's how the end of this episode ended. That reveal, and then the next episode will handle that. So, but that was my big thing. That was a very cool reveal, and I'm excited to see where this goes. They're going to explain it all. They're doing a very good job explaining it all. Like I said, the only thing that seemed really uncharacteristic was how Laurie handled the widow, and getting caught. And the episode itself was just very slow paced and like I said, kind of underwhelming compared to everything we had just seen. But it was a good filler episode to get to what we see is going to ramp up in the story soon, and it answered a lot of questions. So that's exciting. But I don't want to dwell on the Watchmen too much, so just in case anybody else is tuning back in. So we got some very cool things coming up. Black Widow trailer dropped today, which was awesome. I cannot wait for this movie, and it's a little peculiar to me. I don't know, I keep using that word. I don't think it means what I think it means. But it's not peculiar, but it's her hairstyle, her costume, everything is very reminiscent of what it was in Endgame. And I know this is supposed to take place, like, it's after Civil War, but I don't know where it falls in the timeline, does it? So I'm interested to see where this goes. Taskmaster looks cool. I've always liked Taskmaster. He's been one of my favorites in comics. I especially love his interaction with Deadpool. So I'm anxious to see where that goes. And I think it's great that that's who she's going up against. I think that's a great villain to put her against. And it seems like, was there? I hate the fact that I don't know this. I read it earlier. Florence Pugh, if I'm answering that right, from Midsummer and Fighting with My Family. Great actor. Great in those roles, so it was really exciting to see her. And I guess she's playing the sister of Black Widow, which will be fun. And Rachel Weisz is in it. She seems to play a motherly character, maybe an older woman to their kind of mid-range, and then younger girl who was in this Red Sparrow type Russian spy organization that they would take all these girls into. And then you had David Harbour show up, and he is Red Guardian. So we knew that wasn't any new information, but you did see him in the suit, which was kind of cool. It's a very fun, it's a very fun, not answer, but Russia's answer to Captain America, but the fact that they have David Harbour playing him at an older age, a little heavier, he's kind of fat in a suit, and they even call him that, and like he seems like he's going to play it really well. So I'm excited to see what happens. I know this is the start of Marvel Phase 4. I'm anxious to see how, because you had the end of Marvel Phase 3 was Spider-Man Far From Home, and you saw how that did, but how that kind of ended things, like ended the whole Iron Man, Captain America phase, phases, or saga, I should say. But then to kind of come back to the past to start Phase 4. I'm anxious to see how they do that. I wonder when this takes place. I can't wait to hear more information on that. But the trailer looks really cool. Lots of action. Really excited for it. Scarlett Johansson's going to kill it. This is a movie that probably should come out years ago, but if it is truly what Phase 4, what's going to build Phase 4, then I'm glad it's coming out the right time. Marvel seems to know what they're doing. Now, in other trailers too, we had James Bond, No Time to Die trailer. Is very small teaser, just kind of snippets of everything. But I'm so excited. Daniel Craig is my favorite James Bond, and I love most of them. I love them all. They're all great, but you know, it's like I love a movie here. I love a movie here. I've loved all of Daniel Craig's movies. They were they've just been perfect. Uh, Casino Royale was a great way to open it, and just it got better and better every turn. So I'm very excited to see what they do with No Time to Die. Considering this is his last, I want to see where they go with it. Um, so I want a full trailer. Like, come on, stop holding it from me. I'm super excited for this. We are gearing up. Uh, there was another trailer I did want to mention. Stars Richard Gere, Peter Dinklage, um, Bradley Whitford, and I'm trying to think who else is in it. Sorry, I'm kind of thrown off, but it was Three Christs, and it looks like a drama. It seemed a little strange, but I kind of dig it. I kind of want to check it out, and it's I guess this doctor has three different patients who say that they're Jesus Christ, and he's trying to heal them, but at the same time, like get them together. Maybe I guess to expose them to each other, and it backfires on them. And I don't know that it's a faith based movie. It didn't come off that way in the trailer, but it was interesting, and I thought I should mention it. So that should be coming out soon too. So we're gearing up. Next week starts Crisis for Infinite Earths, which is the DC TV crossover event. There's been a lot of speculation. I've been following as much as I can. We're going to get tons and tons and tons of people, characters popping up. I've heard Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer, is on there, which makes sense. I mean, these are all DC characters. So Tom Welling, we've seen, is coming back as Clark Kent. I don't think he's coming back at all for as Superman, but you do have Brendan Routh taking on the cape again as the Kingdom Come version of Superman, which will be cool. It kind of makes sense because he was the follow-up to Christopher Reeve's Superman. So, as much as he looked like him, and I thought he did a good job. He did a good job as Superman. I thought the script wasn't great. I'll still watch it. It's still a very watchable movie, in my opinion. If you can watch Quest for Peace, and you can watch Superman 3, you can watch Superman Returns. Kevin Spacey is no Gene Hackman, and that's not to put him down. Kevin Spacey is a great actor, even, with everything else that's been going on aside, like, Kevin Spacey is a great actor. But I thought Gene Hackman just did a fantastic job in those movies. And he seemed to embody Lex Luthor more than Kevin Spacey sort of did. Kevin Spacey sort of, his role kind of seemed like, I'm going to take this on, but I'm not going to take it too seriously. And I think that's where it lacked in performance. So, but they are gearing up, and that is cool. I know that Michael Keaton, his Batman is going to be a part of, not in it. It's just going to be a kind of touched on. You're gonna see like a newspaper that that Bruce Wayne married Selena Kyle. They would talk about that some months ago. Kevin Conroy is playing Kingdom Come Bruce Wayne, which looks cool. So maybe we'll get the Bruce Superman connection, which will be awesome. We got a lot of things coming in, and it's going to be really exciting to see where it goes. But yeah, we're gearing up for that now, and I don't want to speculate too much, but I did want to touch down. So that starts Sunday, I believe, Sunday the 8th. So yeah, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Yeah, so Sunday the 8th, it starts with Batgirl, or Batwoman rather, her show, and then we'll continue with, I think it continues with The Flash and something else, and then it might be Legends tomorrow, I'm not sure, and then or it might be Supergirl, And then after the break in January, will end with Legends of Tomorrow and Green Arrow. So it does look like it's heavily speculated. So these are rumors, might be spoilers. Just take that into account before I say them. That, yeah, we're probably going to lose the Flash, but I mean, his show's still going on, so we'll see what happens. But we're definitely losing Oliver Queen. There's been big speculation that he's going to become Spectre, which makes sense. And we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure who else we're going to lose, but they said they were going to lose characters. It's going to be not faithful to the original storyline, but in terms of like who dies and whatnot, but like it is going to kind of clear house a little bit, and that's why they're bringing so many back, and I kind of dig that. I do, and I kind of want to see where it goes from there, and I'm excited. So I think I'm going to do a review of each episode, and I am looking into possibly getting a few comic fan panel going, maybe on the show, on the next Scene Snob show after the last episode, and we can sit and talk about it. We'll make it a Crisis on Infinite Earths centric episode. So hopefully that'll be interesting. So I got a lot of stuff plans coming up for the Scene Snob podcast. Have some interviews coming up, which will be interesting. Working on some new stuff, and I'm also I've got some reviews coming up, special request reviews of stuff to watch. A couple came to me by way this week, horror movies, but I'm gonna check them out, and I will do my reviews. I'm gonna do video reviews and post them up, so let you know what I think. Now with this, we are in the first week of December. We have officially crossed over. Last week, of course, was Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a good one. But we are officially in the Christmas season. Wow. All right. 2020 on its way. It's coming very quickly. So, and it was hit hard. Like, I mean, we put up our Christmas tree last weekend. I'm ready to go. And we got decorations out. And I have to decorate the front of the house this upcoming weekend. So, we'll see what happens there. Now, one thing it just seems weird to me, and I kind of want to touch down on, is the Christmas favorite shows being shown too early. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but something like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, like the 60s version, the cartoon, Charlie Brown Christmas, trying to think of some others, just the really popular ones that have been around for years and years. Those are the two big ones I can think. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. They show that on TV every year. And I know they're going to keep showing it, but that's what sparked me with this conversation. So I watch It's a Wonderful Life every year. And I like to watch it on TV. Reason being for that, a lot of people, especially younger people, think it's so weird that I do that. But I do it because I'm old school, pre-internet poor. Like, we were poor, we were poor, and then we made it up to middle class. So, and not middle class, like, we got a house in the suburbs, not the greatest area either. So why I say that is, we all we have is with TV when we wanted to watch stuff. Like, we would rent movies that we wanted to watch, or we caught them on TV. First time I saw Batman '89, it played on TV, and it was playing for months and months, and that's how I watched it, and I miss that sometimes. We have cable. We aren't cord cutters because, for sports, I know there's streaming sites, but like, I like my variety, especially when it comes to college football. I like being able to go to a ton of different channels and flip between games. So I like that. I don't like just a few here and there, or like in CBS, like if I cord cut and I wanted to watch, my Giants playing, they're playing on CBS, I have to get CBS's streaming app, and I just don't want to do that. So, with that being said, I like to watch TV. So sometimes movies will come on, and I prefer, in some instances, not all, in some, to watch them on TV. You get your breaks with commercials, and it's just like an old school nostalgic feeling, I guess. But it's just I like doing it, and I know I'm not the only one because I've had these discussions with quite a few many people, and I kind of stick to it. It's the same reason I love like the last drive-in now and stuff and I talk about that quite a bit. Is I love those commercial breaks because like back in the day with Monster Vision or drive-in theater or you know even with Mystery Science Theater 3000, things like that, you had those breaks, and those breaks they gave you something, and I don't know, I enjoyed it. That's and I still do. So, with that being said, It's a Wonderful Life is a movie I have to watch every year, and now I know I can watch it whenever I want. I own a DVD. There's countless streaming sites I can watch it. It's a public domain movie, so I can watch it wherever I want. Um, but I like watching it when it's on TV. I like watching it when NBC airs it because they're usually the ones that air it every year on Christmas Eve. Now, I do love that movie, but there's a reason I watch it every year. Like I love watching it around Christmas time, and it's not the perfect movie. It's just a really good movie for me, a lot of it is good memories of watching it, and um, so that's a big deal for me. So I like watching it on TV. So I always look out for it. The thing that bugs me is I know for many years they showed it twice. They would show it once, maybe like a week or two before Christmas, and then on Christmas Eve. And that was it. And I would miss it the first time. And then I'll go to Christmas Eve. I could always trust it. Well, but it was always on NBC on Christmas Eve, and I think it was on like USA or something else on other times or other channels. So I knew I was going to be able to watch it on NBC on Christmas Eve, and I just like that. I like that it was just something I could trust that would be on. So a week before Thanksgiving, I think it was the Saturday before Thanksgiving, I'm flipping around television, seeing what's on. It's a Wonderful Life's on USA, I think. I'm like, what the hell is this? What is this? Why is this on now? It's not even Thanksgiving yet. Why are they showing It's a Wonderful Life? And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. And I was kind of annoyed by that. So then fast forward to this past Saturday, after Thanksgiving. All right, if they had shown it on USA, I'd say it's still a little too early to show it, but whatever. I mean, I'll still get it on Christmas Eve. Well, NBC showed it on this past Saturday, and now that makes me wonder: are they going to show it on Christmas Eve? Like, what's going on here? So now, if I didn't watch it then, am I going to be able to watch it going forward on TV? Which is the way I like to watch it every year. I know this seems like I'm nitpicking, but it's my show and I can complain, and it's something I want to complain about. I didn't see any other times for it coming up in even December, because this was November 30th. It did not show me any times that It's a Wonderful Life will be shown on TV. So, the guide, I should say. So, I may have to just break down and watch it. But I am annoyed by this. Very annoyed by this. I hope they show it on Christmas Eve so I can watch it, because it's just one of those traditions that always stuck with me. I proposed to my wife after we watched that. And going back, I remember watching with my uncles when I was a kid, and now they're both gone. I remember watching it another year with my grandmother, and she's gone. So I have Christmas moments with everybody, with watching this movie. So I think that's why I'm a little more crazy-ish about it. But another thing that was kind of bugging me is all week since then, since Thanksgiving, they have been showing the Christmas specials. So, Year Without a Santa Claus, I've seen on like 5 or 6 times. And not like at the 8 o'clock hour, which on ABC usually shows. CBS usually shows Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They have already. And I think that was on December 1st or maybe December 2nd. I'm not sure. Might have even been November 30th. Who knows at this point? Tonight they showed, NBC showed How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Was it Thursday night they're showing it's Charlie Brown Christmas. Why this bugs me is it's the first week of December and now I have kids. Now, I didn't know How the Grinch Stole Christmas was on until like my 7-year-old was watching it and I was putting my 3-year-old to bed. Of course I want to sit there and watch with them. We missed Rudolph this year because it was on this past weekend. And it's Rudolph. I want to sit and watch it with my kids. I have great memories of watching it when I was a kid. Now I have kids. That's a dad's, like, that's special for a dad. You know, a dad wants to do that with his kids. You know, moms too, of course. You want to get together and you want to watch this stuff that made you happy when you were a kid with your kids and watch it make them happy. So they may show it all again. I don't know though. Because TV's weird. And they may show stupid specials, Christmas specials hosted by singers I've never heard before who were on The Voice 2 years ago and they're popular for some reason. And they're doing a Christmas special, so there's no time for Rudolph or there's no time for How the Grinch Stole Christmas or Charlie Brown or anything else that I love. I don't want to see that. Or if you're going to do that at a later time when my kids aren't up and then they can watch the specials. So now I get it. Now looking at it, I understand why people are cord cutting so hardly. Hardly. That was stupid. So I get why people are cord cutting. Because the networks are infuriating. Why are you showing this stuff at all the wrong times? Why is Elf on at 10 o'clock p.m.? You know, you're going to show it about 50 more times, but every time, since they've shown it about 6 times now, and it seems like it was like in the middle of the night where my kids can't watch it. It's just, I don't understand it. It is ridiculous and stupid. And I might, depending on how they do things this year, if they don't pop back up on TV, I might cord cut. That might be it for me. This might be it. Like, I know I say with college football, but, you know, and maybe it'll be more of a metaphorical cord cutting, because I have all the streaming services anyway, Disney Plus, Shudder, I always rave about that. Netflix, we'll see how long that goes. Yeah, I'm going to do all that. At the end of the year, I'm going to have a bunch of lists together of my top things that are out right now, out this year. So I'll worry about all that then. But yeah, so that's sort of my rant for this right now. And I understand, like, I just don't know how many of you does it infuriate. I'd love to hear the answer. Or is it just stupid? Is it stupid and should I just start watching them somewhere else? Like I did watch Garfield Christmas yesterday with the kids, because the kids did ask. They said, can we watch and I showed Frosty too. So Frosty was another one they showed I think Sunday, you know, and the kids made sure we watched it. That's their favorite. So you know, so we watched Frosty, but I mean, and then they asked for another one, and I showed them Garfield, because I figured closer to Christmas we'll sit down and watch these things. But who knows? Because it's the first week of Christmas. They haven't even lit the tree in Rockefeller Center yet. I think they're doing that tomorrow, and I've already seen all the favorites played already, and it's just ended with Thanksgiving. It's infuriating. I'm still kind of kicking around with Halloween. I mean, come on, I got pumpkins on my shirt. So, slow down. Just slow down, people. Stop showing everything right up front. So, I wanted to complain about that a little bit, especially getting into Christmas season, because as we go forward, I want to talk about more fun things during the Christmas season. And, not so much complain about what's being shown early or what's on too early. But I do want to know what everybody else thinks. Like, is this weird to me? Is it a weird thing that these shows are on the first week of December and I don't need them that early? Like, kind of slow down. Like, give them to me in like week 3. Closer to Christmas. But I don't know. Maybe they'll show them again. Hopefully they do. I would love it if the kids got to sit down and watch them on TV. If not, I will definitely be showing it to them. We'll have a marathon or something. So with that being said, I kind of want to wind down from this, and there's a few things. Go check out some reviews I did. I've reviewed every episode of The Mandalorian so far. Last week I reviewed The Irishman. Great movie, but I definitely gush over a lot of things and get a little more in depth about it. And I want to know. I want you guys to watch them and let me know what you think. I have been watching the Apple TV series that are out. I have not watched For All Mankind yet. I am definitely amped to see it, but Mrs. Scene Snob wants to watch it with me. Right now, she's at NASA. About to watch the SpaceX launch tomorrow. So when she gets back, I think we'll kind of watch it, and we're going to do a Marriage Like That podcast about her trip and everything like that. I am caught up on the morning show and a few other things. So I think I'm going to wait till those end, and then I'm going to do like sort of a binge review. I watched them all, and here's what I think. So those will be coming, so keep an eye out for those. Have not gone out to see anything new yet. I'm going to see a documentary this weekend. I definitely want to get out and see Queen and Slim. I have heard amazing things about it. Have not seen Frozen 2 yet. Surprising when I have kids. So there's a bunch of stuff I need to get out and go see, and I'll do reviews on if I can go see them quickly. We have a new... I don't really review them, but I do usually gush about them on the podcast. Another Joe Last Drive-In, Joe Bob's Last Drive-In is doing a Red Christmas episode where they marathon Christmas movies. So that'll be exciting to talk about that week. So I will be on pretty much every week, even through Christmas. I'll have episodes. So if you have anything that you want to check out, I do want to do an episode on lesser known Christmas movies. And that leads me into my movie recommendation of the week. And this week it is a horror movie that came out, I think in 2017, might have been 2016. Might even been earlier, but it's the last 4 years or so. It's a Christmas horror story. William Shatner's in it. A few recognizable faces are in it. Go check it out. If you're into horror, it's a solid horror movie. It's an anthology piece that kind of, sort of in the vein of like Trick or Treat, kind of intertwines together. And when you hear the title, I know it kind of seems like a Christmas horror story. I've heard that one before, but it's worth checking out, I think. The stories are cool. The effects are cool. You have a very cool fight sequence that it's between Krampus and Santa, and it's kind of cool how it plays out and where that goes, and that's kind of like the overarching theme of it, with all the other stories kind of intertwined into it. So that is my recommendation for an older movie recommendation for this week. Most of them this month are going to be Christmas movies, Christmas themed movies, I should say. So, but this week's Christmas Horror Story. Go check it out. Get back to me. Let me know what you guys think. And again, I have some interviews coming up. I've already set them up for after the new year. Filmmakers, indie people. I'm trying to absorb everything. So the show's going to be changing a little bit on how we do things. But, stay tuned, because it's going to be fun, I think. But I do love input. I love feedback. So comment, message me, whatever. If you have any special requests for like to do reviews on, like a movie I may not have seen, throw it my way. I'm definitely interested in doing that. I got to do that I'm doing that soon. Just got those past couple of days, but I just did a review for 20-Minute Wrestling Podcast. I did a little review of Rampage 92, which was a special request. WWF show from home video show. So that was fun and exciting. Go check that out. We have a new episode of 20-Minute Wrestling Podcast up too every week. Marriage Like That podcast. All can be found on thescenesnobs.com. We have the Scene Snobs YouTube channel on SoundCloud, on YouTube, and the Scene Snobs channel on SoundCloud. Give them a follow and subscribe. I am at the Scene Snob on Instagram and Twitter, and we have the Scene Snobs Facebook page. You can reach me anywhere, on any of those platforms. We also do updates quite often, different things. So just kind of get in touch and let me know how I'm doing, what you think, or where it can go from here. I do love feedback, like I said. But that's about it. That's all I got for this week. This show started. I just kind of want to give a little special message. The show started out with a partner. Now, I don't know what happened to him. He's okay, but I don't know where the falling out was. We didn't have an argument. We didn't have anything like that, and I don't want to get too personal, and I'm not picking on him or anything. He just disappeared, and I have not heard from him. I know he's alive and well, but I do not hear from him. He hasn't reached out, so it's a one-man show for now. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I'm trying to keep up with everything, and I am looking into possibly getting partner or partners in the future, but it is kind of it takes its time. So bear with me for now. We'll see where it goes. Or if you like me doing it solo, let me know, because I will have interviews, like I said, coming in. So, that will change up the format a little bit. But I am excited to see what the new year brings. So let's just have some fun this month and get there. But pay attention to the social medias sites, because I have some new news coming out too for new shows. So yeah, check them out and stay tuned. Thanks a lot. You guys have a great day.